These are the kind of stories that, even when they happen, and above all, you manage to overcome them, they're the kind of scars that stay with you. Even when you sleep, you relive them and go back to that moment. Honestly, I want to forget some things, but sometimes I can't. This mess started on a Thursday, almost at dusk. We had gone out to provide support and calm things down. It was a rough neighborhood, the kind you think twice about.
Do I really have to risk my neck and put my life on the line? For these people who just spend their lives praising and worshiping damn drug dealers, what kind of damn country do I live in?
They had sent us out to get closer to the community, talk to them, calm the area, reduce the number of assaults, robberies, and provide any services the locals needed. We were led by a second lieutenant, just 2 from the rapid response team, and 3 municipal police officers handled the job. The area was getting closer and closer, and honestly, I didn't even feel like being there. The day before, when we were there too, a couple of scared kids threw a dog at me, and while I had the rapid response gear with me, you can imagine the superhuman effort I made not to give them one. I got to the kids, but more to the lieutenant who was half asleep leaning on my leg, and something landed on his face. Honestly, I don't have to explain much about what I wanted to do when I chased the kids along with the police, who, by the way, didn't catch them and they got away. The lieutenant came back pissed off and with his bag of soap to clean us up. Because I fell on the side of my uniform, I got stained from the right side of my chest down to my right leg. It was all dirty. We did all the messy cleaning near that little park that looked more like an art area of Crico Rivera in the neighborhood. Everything, even its graffiti, vandalism, and all that. So we finished and just kept doing what we were doing. It was already 9 at night. We were almost done and ready to go back to the barracks, eat, and rest. And the relief would take our position. The second lieutenant had fallen asleep again, and my leg, especially the lower part of my thigh, had become his pillow. And as for the police officers, almost all of them were already asleep while we kept moving forward. To finish, the police officers received a report about a house where the music was too loud, and some junkie had pulled out a gun into the street and was firing it into the air. It wasn't far at all, so we had to go. We got there and the guy they mentioned was all worked up, under the influence of alcohol and crystal meth. He had a Kalashnikov and was firing it into the air. Meanwhile, inside the house, there were some girls and some guys, drunk and high, inside listening to songs by Luis Conriquez and Doble P. They were all tripping out and everything. We arrived, stopped, and surprisingly, the guy with the gun just dropped it. And he told us where the others were, and that the shipment was already there, that we should pick it up, that it was inside by the stairs. Apparently, Al thought we were his people, and that we were coming to pick up the goods, not knowing that we were the real ones and not the ones with the sneakers. Inside, there were girls between 13 and 17 years old, and downstairs there were some boxes. Inside, there were assault rifles, M4S, M16S, and also some small boxes with packages of marijuana and coke. You know which kind of coke, right? The police started doing their thing, ending the party, stopping the chaos, and doing what they do, filling out their paperwork. And those GI. Everything was going fine until the sub-lieutenant went up to the second floor and said to me, "Hey,
come take a look here. Look who I found."
Upstairs were the same 3 guys who had thrown the C de Perro at us hours earlier. We caught all 3 of them relaxing with 2 girls. That's when the second lieutenant caught them. While one of them was getting a hand job from one girl, the other was enjoying riding the other girl. He just showed up, and in the process, everyone sobered up, and then he started, now for real.
You sons of bitches, weren't you so tough? The 3 of you wanted to mess with me back then. Now it's time I teach you some respect. The guy outside already told me that you guys are lookouts, and that you work by ratting us out. But now, you're going to learn your lesson, and I'm going to enjoy it.
The police tried to intervene and save the kids, but the sub-lieutenant didn't back down. Just as they were, he barely let them put on their boxers, took them outside, and loaded them onto the beds of the patrol trucks. And he gave the order to take off, and for the police to keep up their chaos. From there, the sub-lieutenant made us go to a remote area with nothing but fields and woods, and you could barely see a few hills. The three of us arrived quickly and we got the three guys out and we made them kneel. The sub-lieutenant didn't waste any time and started hitting the three guys we had really hard, and it didn't take long for him to make all three of them bleed and keep going. Even so. And then, after I think he got tired or took a breather, the real thing started, the good part. He began the interrogation.
Let's see. Now you're going to tell me where your bosses are or anything else that might be useful to me.
I say this because he kept hitting the kids, but they didn't talk. They simply didn't know anything. They had gotten in through family connections who were already working for the gang, pretty much the same thing. And, well, the second lieutenant had anger and control issues, and he pulled something out of one of the pockets of his vest. And he started with the three kids and began to cut the tip of their with it, according to him, so they could keep enjoying having sex, the kids. They never said anything, never talked about their bosses. And on our part, we didn't even want to get involved. But for the second lieutenant, we were just scared and didn't move. The second lieutenant just got fed up. And since the cliff was right there, he simply sent them off from this world and put them in a better place.
So they like throwing others. Now I'm going to throw some to the other world. I'll see you in hell.
He threw all three of them, one by one. He threw them while telling them, "You are hawks."
So they fly.
The second lieutenant finished his mess, but now we were divided between whether to talk and snitch or stay quiet. If we all talked, we'd get in trouble, because we all saw it and none of us did anything to stop the second lieutenant. Even more so, the legal trouble he was going to get into. On the other hand, there were those of us who stayed quiet. The second lieutenant was cool, one of those who always stood up for the troops, always supported us. He was a good guy and never let anyone down, and we all liked him. He always had those problems with anger, explosive outbursts, and control, but it had never gotten to this point before. For their part, the police were on the payroll. They weren't going to say anything about us taking the kids, but some of us did want to talk and tell. In the end, we all agreed to protect the sub-lieutenant and support him, and just let everything fall apart.
Just make ourselves damned. We look better that way.
The years went by, but it still gives me occasional nightmares. Remembering that day and even today are things I wish I didn't have to remember. Like how Sub-Lieutenant tied the kids by their balls with his nose and how he cut off the tip of their doreti with a knife. Seeing the Dons come out, the kids screaming, and above all, the rage and shouts of the Sub-Lieutenant. Doing that, in a way, marked me and still gives me nightmares and fear to remember that.